You hear the term AI thrown around constantly, right? But what if I told you that most of the time we're actually talking about two completely different kinds of technology and just lumping them together? Getting that difference is honestly the key to understanding where our world is headed, so let's dive in.
Here's the thing. You use both of these AIs every single day, probably without even thinking about it. One is like a super focused detective, analyzing clues to give you a specific answer. The other is more like a master artist, conjuring up things that have never existed before. So, do you actually know which is which? It's a bigger deal than you might think.
First things first, we've got to understand that we are dealing with two very different families of AI. It helps to think of them as two different kinds of digital brains. Each one has evolved to do a very specific and very different kind of thinking.
And believe it or not, this entire super complex topic really just boils down to one simple, powerful distinction: predict versus create. One is built to predict what's next. The other is built to create something new. That is the secret sauce. Now let's really break down what that means.
All right, first up, let's talk about traditional AI. This is the AI that's been quietly humming along in the background for years. Its entire mission in life is to look at a huge pile of data, find the patterns inside, and then make a prediction. It's a pure analyst. It's there to answer questions like, is this email spam, yes or no? Or, based on these pixels, is this a picture of a dog? It predicts based on what it's already been taught.
And then you have the new star of the show, generative AI. This type is a whole different animal. It doesn't just analyze the data it was trained on, it learns the underlying patterns and then uses them to make something totally new. It creates. It's not just answering a simple question. It's writing a poem, designing a logo, or composing a song, content that literally did not exist a second ago.
You know, here's maybe the best way to think about it. Traditional AI is like a calculator. It is incredibly powerful, don't get me wrong, but it follows very strict rules to give you a predictable, correct answer. 1 + 1 is always going to be 2. Generative AI, on the other hand, well, that's the artist. You give it a prompt, a loose idea, and it creates something unique, something you couldn't have predicted.
So, okay, we've got the predictor and we've got the creator. But how do they actually do what they do? What's going on under the hood? Let's take a quick peek inside the machine.
Traditional AI learns from really neat, organized data. Imagine you're feeding it thousands of pictures, and every single one has been tagged by a person as either cat or not a cat. It learns the rules from that highly structured, clearly labeled training. Generative AI is different. It's basically thrown into the deep end. It gets trained on these vast, messy, unlabeled datasets, like a giant chunk of the entire internet. Its complex neural networks have to figure out the deep patterns of human language and art all on their own.
Okay, this is all getting a little technical, I know. So let's make it real. Where do you actually run into these two AI brains in your everyday life? I think the answer is going to surprise you.
Every time your phone unlocks using your face, that's traditional AI predicting, yep, that's a match. When your email inbox magically knows what's junk and what's important, that's traditional AI classifying messages. Weather forecasts, credit scores, even the automatic braking that kicks in some cars, all of these are systems designed to analyze data and make a specific, predictable call.
And on the flip side, you have the creators. Anytime you ask a chatbot like ChatGPT to help you draft an email, or you go to an image generator like DALL-E and ask for a picture of a flamingo playing chess, that is generative AI at work. It's not finding an answer that already exists somewhere. It's creating brand new, original stuff just for you. Now you might be thinking, well, generative AI is the newer, cooler thing, so it must be better, right? Not so fast. This isn't a competition. It's all about picking the right tool for the right job.
So let's look at the core differences side by side, just to make it crystal clear. When it comes to purpose, one is here to analyze and decide, the other is here to create new content. For output, one gives you a fixed decision, a label, a score, while the other gives you flexible, brand new stuff. And then there's creativity. Traditional AI has none. Generative AI, it has a very high level of what we might call simulated creativity. And that's the fundamental trade-off.
And these differences lead to some really distinct strengths and weaknesses. Traditional AI is predictable, it's controllable, and that's amazing when you need absolute reliability, like in finance or medicine. Generative AI is incredibly flexible and can produce some amazing human-like stuff. But, and this is a big but, it can be wrong. It can just make things up. It's also super expensive to run, and it's notoriously hard to get it to explain its reasoning. It's that classic black box problem. So let's put it into practice. For detecting fraud on your bank account, would you want a creative AI or a reliable calculator? Of course you want the calculator. That's why traditional AI is the best choice there, hands down. But for writing marketing copy or for powering a chatbot that actually needs to sound human, well, that's where generative AI is the clear winner.
So where is all of this going? I think the most exciting part isn't about picking a winner between these two. It's about realizing that these two powerful types of AI, they aren't rivals. They're actually becoming partners.
So, the key takeaway, the one thing to remember from all this, is simple. Traditional AI predicts. Generative AI creates. They are not in a fight. They are two different, incredibly powerful tools that, when they're combined, are going to fundamentally reshape our world.
And that really brings us to the final and most fascinating question. As these two forces, the predictable analyst and the creative artist, really start to learn how to work together, what part of our lives are they going to transform next?